Tim with Nomad Trading. This is going to be shorting for dummies by a dummy. So if you don't know what shorting is, stick around. I'm going to try to talk you through it in layman's terms and try to help you understand. Might even help myself understand it better. You never know. So thanks for stopping by. Make sure you give me the thumbs up, the subscribe, like, notifications on, all that kind of crap that the YouTube algorithm loves so that my videos get pushed to more people. I appreciate the love. We're over 1,500 subscribers. That's pretty awesome. Nomad Nation is growing. Very thankful for that. My family is as well. So let's jump over into the computer and talk about, watch me attempt to draw on this paintbrush program and talk about shorting. So when you're shorting, the whole idea of shorting is to make money when the stock goes down, right? Okay, so the dangers of shorting, we got to talk about that right off the bat. You got to have a margin account in order to be able to short a stock. Shorting, like I said, is making money when the stock goes down, but you can also lose money when the stock goes up. So it's the inverse of going long. When you buy a stock, you want it to go up, and you're going to make your money when it goes up. And if it goes down, then you're going to lose money, but you can only lose as much as you put into it because there is a bottom. There is a 0 point down here. So if the stock is right here when you buy it, the worst that can happen is it can go to 0. If you put $10,000 in there and it goes to 0, you lose $10,000. The difference between that and the risks of shorting is that the stock can go up forever. So let's say you bought the stock at whatever, let's use $10 for a nice round number. If we bought the stock for $10 and it went to 0, you lost all your money. You could buy the stock at $10 over here, or short the stock. If you short the stock for $10 here and it just keeps going up, at $20 per share, you would have lost the same as you would if it went down and you were long. But the problem is, it doesn't stop there. It can go to $30. It can go to $40. It could go to $1,000. There's no way to stop this. That's the point, is that there is no lid at the top. It can just keep going. You got a lid at the bottom, it can only go to 0. There's a floor, but there is no ceiling. So you got to know that going in whenever you're going into a short position. You have to know that these stocks can rocket up. You get yourself caught in a KODK, something like that goes from a few bucks, I want to say like $6 to $80 or $100. I forget exactly how high it went, but it was insane, and your account will not recover from that unless you have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in your account, millions of dollars in your account. And if you have that, why are you watching some idiot explain shorting on YouTube? You can just click off this video if you have that much money. You don't need to be listening to me. But if you don't, and you're like the rest of the people that are listening, who only have a few $1,000s in their account, or maybe $10,000 in their account, you can very easily blow up if you find yourself on the wrong side of one of these unicorn stocks. So that is why shorting is very dangerous, or so they say. To me, it's not that much more dangerous than longing, because you can set stops and you can have a mental idea of where you're going to stop at. But just know that in the moment when it's breaking through high of day, if you don't cover that and you just keep going, covering is what we call getting out of a short position. That's the term, is to cover, to buy to cover. And we'll talk about that here in a second. If you don't get out, you can find yourself on the wrong side, and it can just keep going, and before you know it, you're caught with your pants down and you're way underwater, and you're sitting there bag holding, looking at stock twits, trying to find any kind of hope that there might be some other people that are as stupid as you out there that are still holding that as it goes to the moon. So you don't want that. You don't want that. So what is short selling? How do you make money short selling? So the idea is you have your broker over here and you have you over here. You want to short a stock, meaning that you believe the stock is going to go down. Okay, if you think the stock's going to go down, that's where you can make your money from shorting. So you're going to click on that little button on your order screen that's going to say short, or it might just say sell if you're on CMEG or some other platforms. It just says sell, I believe. On eTrade Pro, it says short. So you're going to click that little button. The first thing you're going to run into is, are there shares to short? So that means, does the broker have those shares available for you to borrow? When you short sell, you're going to borrow shares from the broker. So if the broker doesn't have any shares, you're not going to get, you're not going to be able to short that stock. You're going to get a message that says hard to borrow, or that they need to locate the shares, and that means that the broker is going to charge you a premium while they attempt to find the shares in order for you to short. For me personally, and everybody does this differently, but I'm not a huge short seller, and the more accounts you have, the better chance you're gonna get that you're gonna find shares to short on these low float momentum type stocks. If you're looking for shorts on blue chip stocks, like if you want to short I don't know, Apple or something, you're going to be able to find shares to short of that because brokers typically have shares of all those big blue chip companies. So finding shares to short on those, no big deal. When you're trying to find shares to short on these low float momentum stocks, it's because everybody knows that there's not that many shares available, and when they rocket up, it's pretty likely that they will come right back down. So the shares become difficult to find. They're hard to borrow, as they say. So the first hurdle you're going to run into shorting them is the hard to borrow. I personally do not short stocks when they're hard to borrow. I just don't mess with it. I move on. There's usually something else in the market that I can play, and I don't want to pay the premium for the hard to borrow. And I just don't really care enough to wait for them to try to locate the shares or pay whatever they're asking in order to borrow the shares. So for me, that's what I do. I just check my other brokerage accounts. If nobody has shares to short, then I move on. But it is an option to have them locate the shares and pay a premium for the hard to borrow shares, and they may or may not locate those for you. But anyway, for the purposes of right now, you have your broker. They have the shares. You have to borrow the shares from them in order to short. So what does it mean to short? Let's say that the stock is $10 for a round number per share, and you believe it's going to go down. So you want to short that stock. So you're gonna push the button, and it's going to go to the broker, and the broker, let's say that the broker says, yes, we do have shares available to short, and you're going to say, okay, we're gonna short the stock. So what they're going to do is they're going to lend you the shares. That's why it's called a borrow. That's why you'll see in the terminology and people talking, they'll say that, oh, the broker didn't have any borrows. E-Trade didn't have any borrows. CMEG didn't have any borrows. That means that there weren't any shares available for you to borrow. So let's say you're going to short the stock. It's $10 a share. So you're going to short it from the broker. The broker does have shares to short. So they're going to lend you those shares. This is what happens behind the scenes when you click that button. So let's say you want 10 shares at $10. You're going to short them. So that broker is going to take 10 shares of that stock. They're going to send them over to you because you just borrowed them. So now you have those shares. What do you do with them? You're going to immediately sell them into the market at that $10 per share. So you're receiving $100 right off the bat. So if you're watching your account in live time, you'll be able to see like your account balance. Your account balance will go up because when you borrow these shares, you're immediately selling them into the market. And so you're selling them at $10. You borrowed them at $10. You sell them immediately at $10 into the market. So that means that you received $100. So your account is going to go up by $100. Okay, so now you've shorted the stock. Now in theory, it's going to go down. Hopefully it goes down. If it goes up, you're losing money. Why is that? It's because you're going to have to give the shares back. Remember, you only borrowed the shares from the broker. You didn't buy them, you borrowed them. So you have to give them back. So you borrowed the shares, sold them in the market for $10 a piece. You received your $100. Now you want to buy to cover. Let's say the stock did go down and it went down and now it is $9 a share. That's the price on the market, is $9 a share. So you're going to buy to cover. That's the button that says buy to cover, or on some brokers you may just buy, but you're going to buy the shares back. It went down $1 a share, so it's only $9 a share. That's a good thing. So when you buy your 10 shares, you're only going to pay $90 to buy them back because it went down $1 a share and you have your 10 shares. So now you paid $90 to get the same 10 shares back, and then you're going to give them back to the broker. You return them. So when you return the shares, you get to keep that $10 profit, because 100 minus 90 equals $10 profit. That's how you make money shorting. Hopefully I explained that well. Basically, in a nutshell, you're borrowing the shares from the broker and selling them immediately into the market. Then you're going to buy them back out of the market and return the shares to the broker. If it goes against you, let's say it goes up and it's $11 a share for that stock, and then you say, oh no, it's going to keep going higher, you're going to buy your 10 shares at $11 a share, and then you're paying $110 for those same shares, and then you're going to give them back to your broker. When you give them back to your broker, you paid 100, then you had to pay 110 to get them back in order to give them back from the broker you borrowed them from. So now you're down $10. It cost you $10. Hopefully that makes sense. The general concept of shorting is you borrow them from your broker. I don't know why I did that. You borrow the shares from your broker. You sell them immediately into the market. Then whenever you're ready to cover, you buy them back. Buy to cover. You buy them back. And then behind the scenes, they're given back to your broker. So the idea is to pay less when you buy the shares back out of the market than what you sold them into the market for. And you keep the difference. Hopefully that is clearer than mud. And anyway, if you like that explanation, if that helps at all, make sure you hit the thumbs up, comment, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Make sure you ask any questions in the comments. I'll try to answer them. I answer every comment personally. Yeah, check out some of my other videos, and hopefully they help. Thank you so much. Have a great Saturday. Take care. If you made it this far, first of all, I just want to say I love you. You must have liked the video, so make sure you give me that thumbs up, subscribe, notifications on, of course, and then click on one of my videos to the side. If the YouTube algorithm is doing its job, there should be one over there. If not, just go to my page and check it out. Thanks for watching. Peace.